CCP Jotun, ladies and gentlemen, is about to be here with us, and I'm excited for it. Send it. Let's do it, chat. Let's do it. Ready? It's time. It's time for this. Mr. Jotun, welcome in, brother. Can you hear me?
What up, dude? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Say hi to the stream. You're live to the people, baby.
Hello, stream.
I love it.
It is me.
Do you want them to see your camera?
Yeah, you can show my camera.
I can do that. I can do that in just a moment, y'all.
We are working on that, and people who fill those missions will be able to earn grace, just like everybody else. Grace are our in-game mission points system. And if you happen to convert your account to a founder account while you, at some point afterwards, if you decide this is the game for you, you want to continue to follow the project and get more involved in our ongoing development, then you can keep that grace and turn it into Eve points, and those stick around.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, talk to me more about that, because I haven't read on that at all. I saw that was a thing, so let me try to repeat it back to you to see if I understand. While I refine my first ever water ice, I'm doing it, dude. I'm doing it.
Wonderful. Yes, you are.
I'm doing it. I'm absolutely gaming right now. Yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah, sure. So Grace is we're doing these cycles. Cycles are a way for us to have a both persistent and also recycling development process. Obviously, every couple months we want to do new things. We want to introduce new content, introduce new systems, and some of those changes will require almost a full universe wipe. So we will be doing wipes about every 2 months, and each new wipe comes with the start of a new cycle.
Gotcha.
Every wipe then is followed by hopefully new content, new systems. Like I said, new activities in game, new missions probably. Well, not probably, certainly. I know I've seen the design documents. They are in the loop. And on top of that, what we want to be able to do is be able to reward people for their actions in game. We want to be able to see what is valuable to them, I guess, more than anything else. These points allow us to do is just both keep a tally for bragging rights for people who are the most engaged players at any given moment, and on top of that, allow us to see what people are doing the most of. I mean, if people are doing the most of killing a certain kind of NPC, okay, well, why are they killing that NPC so much? If they're doing a certain kind of, getting a certain resource, well, why are they doing this certain resource?
Right.
So, it's a really cool system. Shout out to CSP Goodfellow. I know this one is near and dear to his heart. Our game director. He is all on board. Cycles and missions and points and everything, and it's a lot of fun. So
you basically answered the question: why should you care right now? Right?
Yeah. I mean that is the hope, right? Like we know. I mean, none of us are naive to the fact the game is still in an alpha state.
Right.
I think the game has come a long way.
Yeah, it has.
Especially since where I started. I
remember, dude.
A little over a year ago when I first hired on. It was much more rough than it is today. So being able to, see see things get to the point they are now from that point is super, super cool. But there's also, there's a lot in there that's still not quite there yet. We don't have a lot of the content that we're aiming for. We still don't have a lot of the same, unique new systems that we're aiming for. All of that stuff is planned, and all of it's going to be here at some point. It's not here yet. So in the meantime, we wanted to give people stuff to do, stuff they could fight over, stuff that they could compete with each other over, and hopefully that will drive a lot more, exciting content for everybody involved, and just give people something they can do in their spare time. So.
Love that. Yeah. What I'm hearing is everybody's asking in chat, well, if it's an alpha, why should I care? Why should I do anything?
Yeah.
And so let me repeat it back to you to see if I understand it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So right now there isn't missions or quests yet, but very, very soon there's going to be missions and quests that when you complete them in the alpha, these will give you points that will carry over to when the game is launched. What are the plans for these points? Like, what is the goal of those? Are those going to give you like a better head start when the game launches? What is that going to get you?
It's I think it's still one of those things that's kind of up in the air. We are Right now, I mean, they are only for bragging rights, right?
Okay.
It's just for a way for you to compete with other people around you. However, if somewhere down the line we want to use these as a way to inform, other decisions with regards to gameplay, with regards to other kind of rewards, merch and stuff like that, like it's a good tool for us to use, basically to say who's the most involved in the game throughout the course of the development, and who's who's generating the most activity for other people as well. So
Gotcha.
We can do both. I do want to make one quick clarification. Those missions do exist currently.
Okay.
They're just the mission hub has been a little funky a couple times, but I think we're getting it worked out. So
Sure. Game's still in alpha.
That could be the tagline, honestly, of the last couple weeks. Some stuff is a little bit funky. We're getting it worked out.
Getting it worked out. No, I really like that. That's pretty cool. I definitely trust y'all to be able to like reward people's time, because that is the most common thing that I've seen asked in chat. Is there's two questions that you already know. Is this Eve 2.0? And my answer is no. This is a completely different game. And I didn't even try this, Jotun. I'm so stoked on this. I've actually been prepping my entire audience to play Frontier, because we've been playing other survival games and EVE Online. So now they can do both in one game.
I was going to say, I have been following
sick.
your antics. I have been impressed with the work you've been doing.
I love it, dude.
In the Duneverse.
Yes, no matter what game I go to, I keep getting water, dude. I'm still out here getting the water ice, man. I tell you.
You gotta get that water. You know what I mean? No, it's a fair question, right? People have, we've done I feel like a lot to try and not necessarily assuage concerns, but just kind of explain what we're doing as much as we can. Explain what we're trying to accomplish here. Explain where we're going, what we're going to do next, all of that stuff. And it is totally fair for people to still, after all that, be like, I don't know. Which is why we want to do these free weeks, right? We'll probably do one just about every cycle. We'll let people come in and say, hey, just listen, it's not going to cost you anything. This is free shit. It's totally up to you. If you want to get in here and try it out, and if hey, listen, I'm gonna give you a secret. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a hint. If after playing the game you still think it's shit, that's also fine. We want to know why.
It's supposed
obviously.
To be right.
It's important for us to know why you think it's bad.
Yes.
That's part of the development process. But at the same time, like, I know that not every game is going to be for everybody. I mean, that's true of EVE Online. It's true of, a lot of the games I play. I mean, I play, one of my favorite games of all time was Dark Souls 2, and people fucking hated Dark Souls 2. Right?
No, that game grew on me a ton.
I loved Dark Souls. I mean, I still to this day will play Dark Souls 2.
Yes.
And the reason I even bring it up is because it's just one of those things where, you can. If you try and make a game that's going to appeal to every single person all the time, you're going to make a game that is just the most milquetoast bland bullshit.
Thank you.
And that's not what we're aiming for, right? So
no milquetoast to your chat.
No milquetoast.
No milquetoast.
No milquetoast. only spicy toast.
The spiciest toast.
Yeah,
I love it.
We want to make a game that's fun, that scratches the itch for people who this kind of game scratches an itch for. And yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be good.
I like that a lot. Yeah, this is one of my main points, is that y'all are building a game that isn't EVE Online. A lot of people coming in are like, there was a question, where do I sell my ore? How do I make bookmarks? And I'm like, guys, just unlearn that this is EVE. This is EVE in name only. It's EVE Frontier. This is a survival game. I just made my first ever reinforced somethings while we were talking, reinforced alloys. I'm doing it.
The reinforced alloys.
I'm doing
Before we go any further,
please.
Which Lagrange point are you at right now?
Which one now?
Which Lagrange point are you at?
Is that what the L thing stands for?
Yes. Lagrange points are gravitational points around in certain orbits. So.
I'm at an asteroid belt, bro. I'm not even at one of those. I'm at an unremarkable asteroid belt. Yeah.
Unremarkable asteroid
I'm right
belt.
near P2L5 in the IHF. Let me type it to you.
Beautiful. Okay, I know where you're at. I see you. I'm coming. Yeah.
So do you? Yeah, tell me. Go ahead.
No, I lost what I was gonna say. You asked me the question you were gonna ask me.
No, I gotcha. So do you know where I am because you're a dev, or do you know where I am because of in-game stuff that I'm not privy to yet?
I know where you're at I know where you're at because you have the system name on your stream.
Oh, straight up. Okay, gotcha. So it's like, I'm like, chat, how does he know? How does he know where I am? And it's like, it's right there, you know?
it's just in stream. Yeah.
I've been doxing myself, chat.
I maybe took the special dev wormhole just to get over here and say hi, but
I mean, sure, that's what I wanted you to do. Exactly.
Yeah. I just want to come visit, you know?
I love it.
So
I've been in the loop. I'm doing it.
You've got your little situation here.
I got my situation.
You've already had pretty much the total Frontier experience getting started. I mean, you had walled issues straight at the bat.
Yep.
You're now grinding for ice. Like you're in the mix.
I love it. This is my favorite thing. I've been telling people that I want to have a survival game that has a loop. I want to be able to do the loop. And for the first time, I can now make D1 fuel. Okay, so I have just, while we've been talking, refine the water, make the fuel. Now we're getting it done. So
hell yeah.
So the game is free to play this weekend. I'm gonna link my referral code in chat so y'all can check that out and like use it. How? Let me ask this question. What do you think people that play EVE would like about Frontier? Because the bulk of my audience is EVE players. So obviously we've been playing Dune Awakening too. What do you think EVE players would like about Frontier?
There are a lot of things. I mean, there are just a lot of things in here that are, just in terms of, like, if you enjoy, it's kind of hard to say. It just depends on what kind of EVE player you are, right? If you're somebody who enjoys, the huge bombastic fights and the scale and the drama, well, maybe not the drama, but the scale of it, then Frontier is going to feel a little empty to you. But if you're somebody who enjoys smaller moments, if you enjoy that kind of moment-to-moment dynamic gameplay, if you are somebody who enjoys the idea of being able to shoot a thing with your guns and then that thing getting blocked by another thing in front of it with your guns, that is something that we have that EVE does not. Not because EVE is in some way deficient, certainly not that. Just because it's a different kind of game. It's a different sort of thing. I play EVE for a lot of, I still play EVE. I was playing EVE last night.
Yes.
And I will continue to play EVE for all the reasons I love EVE Online. But Frontier to me is much more about the smaller instances, the smaller moments, the moment-to-moment interactions between players and NPCs. And honestly, like, while it's still in kind of a pretty rough state right now, I'm an absolute like sucker for base builders.
Oh yeah. Oh my god,
and city builders and everything. So
I'm so in, dude. The moment I was like, oh, I can make my little camp. It's in space.
Yeah.
I love this. I love looking at past streams and seeing, like, I'll look at my first ever Dune stream when I had like a little crappy house doing copper tier, and now we're at like the Plastinian with our massive base. Everybody's been contributing. Talk about the group play, because I've been doing this myself. How can someone, if someone wants to play Frontier this weekend and group up with their buddies, how do they go do that?
So right now it's a little bit counterintuitive. We're working on some solutions that'll make it a little bit easier, but you can create corporations in game. Those corporations we're calling them tribes. It's not tribes in game yet, but it will be before too long. And all you have to do is make your way to a station. There are still some stations. In fact, I can pull up the get out of the way here so you can see my screen here, chat. If you pull up my map, you can look at use a map filter to see how many stations there are. You cannot even close to see that. Okay, just take my word for it. If you look at the map, there are a lot of these little red dots that you can see. Hey, look at that. See all
try it. Go ahead. I got you.
There you go. Each of these little red dots is a keep. It's just an NPC station. Those stations, if you dock up them, then you can join your tribes like normal. So
gotcha.
It requires a little bit of effort because you gotta haul ass across the universe to get to where you want to go. But it's not a huge deal, and we've done a lot over the last couple of weeks to try and smooth out some of the navigational things, some of the issues people were having just moving across the universe, and make it a little bit smoother. So
there are NPC stations
there are not a lot of them, and I mean if you look at I think there are less than 100 total, which still seems like 100. Actually it's probably look at it now. 100 probably feels like maybe less than that. But I mean, there are also 24,000 stars. So there are shockingly few stations for how many stars there are in the universe. And that's intentional. We don't want, NPC stations are kind of a crutch. I think, at least in my personal opinion, they are kind of.
I totally agree.
And finding a way to convince people to get out and get more involved in base building and putting their own bases together and everything, I think is super cool, and that's something that we really want to encourage as well. So, look at you are heading off into the wild blue.
I love this conversation. Keep on talking about stuff, because I am now in the loop of getting whatever the heck that blue goop was. So I have the Commodore. I'm now going to get the Metal Rich. This is my jam, Jotun, is survival games. Is like tiering up in this like tiered structure. I made the mistake of like trying to fight some crap earlier, and I was using my hull repairer and burning through fuel, dude. That was such a mistake.
I have gotten cooked so many times by ferals in this game already.
Yes.
In fact, I think I did one of the first times I ever streamed. I got absolutely smoked by some feral drones.
I love it.
Thankfully, it was not these mining drones. These guys are kind of a pushover.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Oh, hey, there's a guy up here. Is that you? There are actually 2 guys in here.
Where?
Oh, never mind. I saw what I thought was you.
I'm scared.
It was just another.
Oh, it's
NPC.
you. What's up?
Hello, it's me.
What's up, dude? Oh, you got the you got a fun looking ship, bro. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I forget. It is the kind of the tier 2 version of ships we have right now. This is the half, or HAF, depending. Yeah, the half. I think it's kind of cool, and the it is a it's still an untextured design, but you can kind of see, you gotta get the vibe. It's got some style to it.
You got some style. I'm gonna kill some rogue drones.
Kill some rogue drones.
I'm doing it.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna kill them, then I will give you a hand here. I can help cook some of these guys.
Cook them, because I want to get these parts. Whenever I play survival games, I never ever go out and get one thing. I always, if I want to go get metal-rich asteroids, right, I will get those, and I will also try to get a little bit other of the mats that are just like around the area, just to like help myself out.
Smart move for sure.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
I love the tactical mode, dude. I love it.
Yeah, it's super cool, and it's honestly it's a little bit broken right now, but it is
broken. I'm really liking it.
It is. Well, I mean, when I mean broken, I mean just like tactically. It is. It is a very powerful tool right now. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. They are. It is a. It's nice to be able to have that capability to see things in the universe that are in a more dynamic way, but it does kind of defeat the point of it. Everything we wanted to kind of draw the camera in, have it be a little more claustrophobic, and that kind of defeats the point. So, think of that camera as a stepping stone towards other really cool things.
Right. Where's Jotun? Let me find you. Look at the difference in things on the tactical map chat. You can see here's a wreck of a drone wreck that I can. He was killing one, so I can go loot his thing. Here is a NPC is the triangle. Look at the player. It's like an upside down triangle, right, chat? So you can see the difference on the tactical map between what's what. I think my cargo might be too full to pick that up. We're gonna go find out. So
give it a shot.
Excellent. This is super sick. Yeah, what I really like so far about the game is how different it feels to Eve, while still having a familiar enough feeling that we have a game that plays like Eve. Like if you play Eve, you're gonna be used to what's happening here, but it will have a different enough feel for you to go, oh, this feels unique enough, is what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah.
That is. I mean, we've kind of, I've said that a couple different times on various streams and things, but the whole goal of Frontier is to create a new experience, something that is, you're right, very distinct from EVE Online, but with a lot of the same kind of vibes, right? Like it is in the same universe, it is using the same engine. That has not changed. We're trying to do something that is should feel familiar, but feel distinct, right?
And a lot of that
feels like a very it feels kind of like a corporate-y, buzzwordy way to describe it.
No.
It is. That's true. It is. That is how it should feel.
I don't think that's corporate at all. I think it's important to be clear about stuff, and Ithaca in our chat, it's good to see Ithaca, what's up, says a very important thing. God. This is not going to be wiped after release. There's been some chat about, oh, there was a wipe. No, guys, it's alpha. In every video game you've ever played, there's been a wipe leading up to it actually coming out. But once it's out, there's not going to be a wipe because that's how games work. So no wipes after launch. No wipes. No wipes.
Yeah,
incredible stuff.
It is not going to be. It is not going to be wiped after launch. Like I said, this is a purely developmental thing, right? We want to. There are more of these drones spawning in. I keep getting shot.
Careful, bro.
We want to be able to. We want to be able to test things, while at the same time not putting us in a position where, if you introduce something, you're committing to it all the way up until launch, right?
Yes.
You need to be able to. Have that flexibility to say, okay, I want to try something that's kind of weird, probably, and might break the universe, which that happens with some frequency. But then being able to say, okay, well, this doesn't work. Then in 2 months, we're going to be able to reset it and try again. Right. Obviously, when it comes time to launch, we take that super seriously.
Sure.
And there are a lot of decisions that are going to need to be made that will be super persistent and have long-term implications, but until then, we're doing a lot of very important learnings between now and then. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
So when we're playing the game, if they're playing the game this weekend, how much can they play? Like, is there? Can you go up to cruisers? I've seen you can make this not Wend, but what the heck is it called? The Wend is the first one, and then there's the
Wend is your rookie ship. Reflex is basically the step above the rookie ship, right? The Reflex is the ship that you use to get out of the starting system, the starting region rather. Because so the way navigation works in this game is that there are gates in the universe. The gates exist, old world gates, but there are also not a lot of them, because there are really no empires. There are no NPC empires in Frontier. They're all dead. So what you have instead are these, big regions of space that have effectively no infrastructure in them, aside from infrastructure that players themselves are building. So if you want to get around, you have to jump. Every ship has a jump drive, and you can use your jump drive to navigate through the stars. The Wind, the starting ship, does not have a very big jump drive, which is to say, I don't think it has one at all.
No,
at least it cannot jump. Yeah, it cannot jump very far, if anything. And those first tier of ships, the keep ships that show up if you look in the market, they all kind of have the same.
How do I look at the market?
If you go down to the terminal, bottom left hand corner of the screen,
Settings.
Market is the icon that looks like somebody's flipping you off.
Oh, it does. That's funny.
Yeah, it is.
Check out the market. Oh, I didn't know this was a thing. Okay, there's literally UI elements I haven't clicked yet, chat. Look at this. So you do have a market, and there's probably not anything by me because I'm in like a random freaking spot, right?
Yeah. There's nothing useful in there.
Okay. We do. Oh, here's some.
I'm told to tell me.
You
can access the storage while inside the refinery and printer. You can see the drop-down menu above the storage.
Who saved my life just now, dude? Y'all watching me stream.
That would be CCP Overload.
Thank you, Overload. Watching me stream, see me drag and drop everything like a madman.
Yeah,
let's go, dude.
Don't feel too bad. He did this to me on stream as well. The difference was I just straight up did not see his messages until long after he had sent them, and by that point he was already calling me.
Thank you, Mr. Overload, for saving me from dragging and dropping continual stuff in that. Say thank you. And I even said at the start of the stream, I'm not expecting this in alpha to have a bunch of quality of life stuff. I'm just not expecting it because the game's not out. The game's literally not released. We're not even close to release. I'm not even going to ask you about release date.
That's smart.
Right.
We have a lot of quality of life stuff in mind, and quality of life stuff even coming here before too long. But a lot of it is, just trying to suss out what works best for the community. You don't want to create a system that is super hand-holdy where people can just press one button and accomplish everything I want to accomplish. Right. There needs to be some kind of not just progression, but there needs to be some kind of balance there as well. So that is the other benefit of doing this founder access system or program, is that we can then look and see, and we collect a ton of data.
I bet
about the way people interact with the game, and we're able to look and see, okay, they're doing it this way, they're doing it, they interact with this thing in a certain way. Is that the way that we want them to be? Is the way that they do it better than the way we had intended? That sort of thing. So
right. Who designed the Tetris capacitor thing? I love it, dude. It's sick.
It's it's funny because some people fucking hate it.
I
some
love
people
it.
really hate. Yeah, I think it's super sick. I think
fun.
it's a lot of fun. And especially like when you're in a fight and things are getting like pretty hectic, and that bad boy is like flashing up and down a bunch. It's super cool.
It is definitely fun. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's sick. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so much that we're learning right now, and so much that we're picking up on as we get further and further into this thing, that it's so hard to sit here and say like oh yes, it's going to look like this tomorrow, or it's going to look like this in 3 weeks, or I think there are people on our team certainly who have ideas and know where they want to go with this, but so much of it is part of the it's like jazz, baby. It's just you're making it up as you go. I mean, you're not really making it up as you go along, but you know what I mean. It is such a collaborative effort. That it is honestly legitimately a fun experience. I mean, we've even today we put a patch out earlier today, 0.1.5, and there was stuff in there from that was developed because of feedback from players. It would not have happened otherwise.
How do they give feedback? Cool. I'm seeing this question. Thank you, JM Luce. How do you give feedback in a positive way? No angry Reddit threads here, dude. How do you give feedback?
Hell, honestly, angry Reddit threads ain't that bad either. I mean, I read just about everything, for better or worse. Yeah. We have, so if you join our Discord, discord.gg/efrontier, we have a couple different forums for feedback. We have a general feedback forum, which is what most people who will be playing for free over the next 10 days starting on Friday will be using. And we also have a special, and I shouldn't say special, it is kind of special. We have a separate feedback forum just for our founders. So people who are in Founder Access have their own little feedback section where they can go in there and leave their feedback. We read both of them, and not one is not necessarily better than the other. It just depends on who all is involved in those conversations, really more than anything else.
I love that. So interesting.
And yeah, I get so much feedback from those, dude. I spend so much time on Discord just going through and taking notes on things people are saying, and then passing a lot of that information along to the devs. And honestly, it ain't all good. Some of it's bad. Some people have just profoundly bad ideas.
For sure.
And there may be people in the company who don't want me to say that, but it is true. Some of you guys have really bad ideas.
I'm actually really glad that you're saying this, because something I'm worried about with any new game with new IP is that the devs will listen too much to players. Yeah. Is that the devs will take what the players are saying too much to heart and do nothing but what the players say. And because typically the players are what I put quotes around is the vocal minority. Okay, it's not necessarily everybody just doing it. Okay, so let me pause this. You guys can said, there's a drop down here. I can take it from the portable. So you saved my life. Thank you for that. That's incredible. I've been wanting to do this. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I take the responsibility of developing for players really, really seriously. Like, obviously, it's really, really important that not only because I made this comment the other day. You cannot develop a game that is player agnostic, right? You cannot develop a game that is unaware of the people who are going to be playing it. That's just kind of dumb, honestly. Like, it's a really silly way to make video games, because you have to be aware of the tendencies and the desires and the aspirations of the people who are playing, because they are not just going to be the ones who are obviously engaging in the universe the most often, but they're going to be the ones who are going to be talking about your game too.
Yes.
And if people who you are designing a game for are talking to other people about your game saying, yeah, it sucks, man, it's really, really bad, then you have done something profoundly wrong. You want warriors in your corner, right?
Yes.
And you want those people to be sold on the game, and so you have to keep them in mind when you're doing this. But at the same time, you're not wholly beholden to them, right? You're not so restricted by player. You should not be so restricted by player feedback that you are paralyzed and incapable of doing anything else. Because that's how you design a game that is just kind of up to the whim and whimsy of people who may not necessarily have the best ideas. And believe me, I have pitched some profoundly bad ideas for EVE Online in the past, specifically bad ideas. And I was on the CSM. Like I looking back on it now, pitched some real bad ones. So like,
I mean, just remove local chat. Just that's the frontier, baby. Hey.
Who needs asset safety? No, fuck it. Get rid of asset safety.
I actually don't like asset safety. I think you should not be able to.
I do not think you should have asset safety.
Don't recover it.
That's not. I don't work in that. I don't work on that game, so it's not a huge deal.
Exactly. Yes.
Not commenting. Not comment by CCP. This comment by me. See me.
Jotun, I have to interrupt you because I'm making my first reflex.
I see it.
I'm 3 seconds away. So can I just get into this? Do I just I deliver it to the storage?
Yeah, you'll deliver it to your hangar.
Okay.
And then if you open up the hangar, you'll be able to see it right there.
The refuge? I can put it from the storage into the refuge. Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that. And now I can click this.
I
click this guy.
Hell yeah, dude.
Board ship from bay. Oh, but what happens to my modules and my other ship?
It just gets put in here.
Okay, so let me board ship from bay.
If you want to take the stuff off of your wind and put it onto your reflex, which you definitely do want to do.
I do.
Just take the stuff that's on your ship off now, like get into the fitting window. Take it off, put it in your portable storage, and then put your ship away.
Let me open this up. I got you. I just got to get some fuel first. Let me slap some fuel. Oh, we have to use the D1 fuel. Gotcha.
Yes. You can use the shit fuel if you want to. It'll work. It's just not as good. D1 fuel is much better.
No compatible fuel in inventory. D1 fuel doesn't work in this?
Oh, you need an engine.
Bro, we need an engine. Look at us, Chad. We're gonna have to get back into our Wendy, I think. Do you like the name of my ship, Jotun? Okay.
It's pretty good.
It's how we do it, baby. All right.
I think what you're looking for. I don't know if you've got one already. I think the Sojourn engine is the one.
I haven't made one yet. I made the ship first. Yeah. So
that's fine. Hey, listen. Yeah, it's all like I said. You're doing it.
So if I want to take the modules off this, I have to unfit this into my cargo and then put it into the storage and then put it into the new. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. You just unfit it all into your cargo, put the ship away, get into the new ship, and then put them all.
I'm gonna see about how to make a Sojourn.
You want to get the engine first because you can't go without the engine.
Makes sense, right? You literally have to do that first. Gotcha. Okay.
Correct.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see if I can get this. I made so many things, chat. I am out of things. Oh no, I can make a Sojourn. Oh, it sticks. I gotcha. I understood. Let's just make one of these. Okay. We're figuring it out.
Oh yeah.
I love it. So we got our first ship. Tell me. Keep it going.
Yeah, I love this ticky tack shit, man. I'm so much into the.
Love it.
Especially when you start to look at some of when you start like doing more of the more significant base building, and you get the larger printers and the larger refineries. You can see some of the jobs that require. And obviously, this stuff in the beginning is all just introductory.
Of course.
But you're talking about jobs that require many more components. Have much more expensive or manufacturing trees. And we have players now who are already going through and like planning out, hey, if you want to build these destroyers, here's what you need to, here's the list of things you need to accomplish.
Destroyers.
I know right now. There's a single destroyer in the game currently. I believe it's the Tades.
Ooh, sick. Okay.
I know for a fact there's a group right now who is doing like tribe mining ops, AWAR, algorithmic warfare. Shout out to AWAR.
AWAR doing it.
They are doing it right now because I saw their pings earlier, where they are out there mining specifically so that they can now, we've like I said, we've relaxed some of the the more restrictive elements of moving around. So groups are starting to really, get together and being able to play together, which is awesome. And now they're saying, okay, this is great, but we want better ships. So now they're doing these big mining ops to do this. One of your chat people, Peter Hudson, says, can you blow up other people in this game? You absolutely can.
100%, bro.
And I strongly encourage it. Please do.
Yeah, you're never safe, chat. This is a PvP positive game. There is PvP. We just haven't found anybody yet, but it's just a matter of time. You already know what it is. It's just a matter of time, until somebody gets it. So I think I'm about to get into my first one. Let's see.
It is an interesting dichotomy, though, right? Because it is, obviously this is a survival game. The universe is, we've we are pushing this idea that we want people to be at risk all the time from other players, from NPCs, from the universe itself. Like, this is the goal, that the frontier should feel oppressive and obviously rewarding, but oppressive.
Of course.
But at the same time, the universe is also really, really big, and it's easy to just kind of hide in the obscurity of everything right now. At some point down the line, we're going to be introducing some tools that will make it a little bit easier to find where other people are. Maybe not find them immediately, but find traces of where they have been, so you can, go on the hunt and look for other people.
I like that.
And at the same time, introduce tools to allow people to hide more effectively. We've already started this with the heat system. You can see that one on top.
Yeah, can you explain that? What is that?
I
don't understand.
Heat's kind of funny. So heat is obviously it speaks for itself. Heat is how hot your ship is.
Right.
Your ship has a default temperature that it goes back to based on where you are in the universe. You can see that temperature below on the right side. The 22.2 number there is the external heat, right? So your ship will equalize always to whatever the external heat of the system or the area that you're in is. That heat changes depending on where you are in the solar system. If you're up next to a sun, for example, you're going to be quite a bit hotter than you would be if you were out like where we are right now. I mean, if you look at if you pull up F3, and you see where we're at. We're not like way out in space. We're a distance away from the sun, 912 light seconds ish or so.
My first system was right next to it, and I was at like 90 degrees the whole time.
Yeah, it's rough. And there are a couple systems, they call them heat trap systems, where you are always too hot, and there's not a place you can go in the system that will get you cold enough that you can jump out. And we've worked to fix a little bit of that since then. But what players found out pretty quickly was that the warp tunnel is cooler than the ambient temperature in most of those systems.
Oh.
So what they could do is they could just like warp around and just warp back and forth, and it would cool their ship off enough that they could then jump out. Because if you're too hot, you can't jump, right? You can't use your jump drive. So they would just warp back and forth until the ship was cool, and then they would jump out. And that's first of all, obviously not intentional gameplay, but pretty fucking cool. They were able to figure. I was gonna
say, like, listen, that sounds sick though.
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally into that. I mean, you want to talk about emergent gameplay? That's like the vibe, right?
That is the vibe. Yes, I'm in that. So while you've been talking, and I love this, I want you to keep doing exactly what you're doing. I have made our first better ship. We are now in a Corvette. We've gone from a shuttle into a Corvette. Shuttles in this game do have modules and stats. Sick. We are in a Reflex. This is our George Foreman grill ship. We have our first mining lasers. We're trying to make another mining laser and make more fuel, y'all. So it has almost double the EHP. So I'm gonna go get some more carbon with this. How's I believe our inventory has more space as well. So let's go get us some carbon and let's keep this going, y'all.
Fun fact, so I spent the better part of the weekend and the last couple days working on a tutorial video that myself and a couple of other devs have been working on to introduce Frontier to people who have never played the game before for the free period. It's something that we've always kind of been lacking. Obviously, we have a fledgling new player experience that is still heavily work in progress, but also we want to have something that's a little bit more robust for people who walk in knowing nothing. I mean, for people who are playing the game and have played EVE Online in the past, a lot of this is going to feel familiar, even if there's some stuff in here that's a little bit tricky. But at the same time, if you're walking off the street, none of this is going to make any sense. So we've been working on this. This tutorial video, and good news, Loru, is that you are almost done with the tutorial.
I don't want to be. I kind of like playing in the dirt. You know what I mean? Like
I know, but hey, trust me, there's a mountain of dirt outside of this system.
Good.
I can guarantee it.
I love guarantees. No, when I played, obviously grew up with games like Minecraft, played a ton of Ark Survival and Valheim, and I will sit in the tutorial for way too long and just enjoy where I am. Just like, here I am enjoying Raptor Tier, whatever. So yeah, go ahead.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you about Frontier is that it is a game in my mind that, at least in terms of, it's different, right? Because in a lot of survival games, and a lot of games in general, especially games that are terrestrial, and set on planets or continents or not in space. A lot of the appeal visually is the scenic vistas, right?
Right.
And it's kind of a hard thing to do in a space game because if you want to be realistic, there's not a lot of like stuff to see in space.
Yes.
Outside of galaxies and constellations and that fair share, and that's all great. But like,
yes.
in the moment to moment, it all kind of does look like just space clouds and stars, which is fine. But what I really like about Frontier is that once you get through the opening and you really start to get out there, there are some things that are being developed, some sites and some points of interest on the frontier, these remnants, these wreckages of these ancient civilizations who have been gone for so long, that are really, really, really something else. I can say right now, there's a site in this game.
I'm super excited.
A site in this game right now you can go to today that is by far the biggest single object we've ever put into a game in any of our properties. It is just the largest single thing that exists in either EVE Online or eFrontier, or obviously in eFrontier. And it's not the Moon Eater, the big Leviathan boss.
I saw that. That was sick.
It is pretty cool, and there are more like I've seen some concept stuff for some more stuff coming in. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild what they're able to do just with the way certain things move in this game. I guess all I'll say about that. But
yes, raid bosses. Okay.
What we want to be able to do is we want Frontier, like we want the geography around you to matter. Like we in a survival game, the location of a stream or the location of a mountain or the location of a pack of trees or a ramshackle hut that you find in the woods. All of these things matter, right?
Yes.
Because they're all places where you can hide or gather resources or gain an advantage because of being able to see, and that's kind of tricky to reproduce in a space game because space is just space. But our team, shout out to the team, I know some of them are watching right now, is absolutely cracked out with some of the designs they have in mind for places that are not just interesting to look at, but places that are will give you that kind of. I mean, there are places right now where you can go inside of it. You can fly your ship inside of a structure.
I
you have to
need that. Okay.
Yes. Fly your ship inside of a structure. Navigate through the. It really has a real like trench run kind of feel to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I saw your trailer. By the way, y'all cooking. Did you hire Gordon Ramsay? Because you guys are cooking with that trailer. Bro.
It was sick. I said it sounded like somebody's Icelandic grandpa. And,
awesome.
Which was it was really really good. They did some. I mean, they absolutely did do some real killer work with that thing.
I love it.
And that is obviously, one of the biggest complaints we've always gotten about EVE Online is that the gameplay doesn't match the trailers, which is true. But it's you're never really trying to match the experience one-to-one. What you're trying to match always is the vibe.
Yes.
And at least in my experience, a lot of times, those like the Citadel trailer is one I always kind of go back to. I love the Citadel trailer.
Bro, same.
The Citadel trailer, I have had that vibe before in a fight. Like that is something that I have experienced. And like, yeah, I understand it doesn't look exactly. It doesn't have all the CGI and cinematics and everything. Like I get that, but it's still pretty fucking cool.
It's definitely sick. Yes.
Frontier is definitely much the same way. The difference is, we actually might be able to match the vibe. Like we might be able to match the one-to-one experience of the trailer. Right. We're not there yet, but that is kind of the goal. If I'm being honest, like what you were seeing in there. Well,
so far I think y'all have, because from what I've seen, the trailer showed a aloneness and it showed a harsh, brutal environment. And so far, I have felt that in the game. That I have played a ton of survival games, as we were just talking about. This game in the beta already feels, it's honestly kind of like scary. Like there's a threat at all times in my head of I have the pressure, the same pressure I felt playing Dune to go as fast as I could so I can get to the deep desert so we can get the best spot. I feel that pressure now where I have to keep I'm listening to you, and I have to keep playing the game because I'm worried that someone's going to roll up with a better ship and murder me right now. So this is definitely something super special y'all have done. I like this.
And you absolutely would not know until the last possible minute, right?
Exactly.
That is the real joy of this in my mind. Like, excuse me, people often talk about Frontier being like wormholes in space, right? Because there's just there's just a lack of information you have available to you, and I kind of like that. There are obviously some major differences. Oh, hang on a second, my mother is calling me.
Do it. Talk to Mama. Here, I'll
hang on, I'll call her back.
Okay.
I told her I'd call her back later.
Gotcha.
But
not me figuring out you need more than one portable refinery. Not me.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, it is nice. It is absolutely nice. One moment. There we go.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. How do I say this? It is a game that rewards being able to think on your feet, right?
Yes.
It's a game that rewards, being able to react. Not, you don't need to like react with twitch reflexes or anything.
Sure.
But having an escape plan, I guess, is a good way to say it, right? You don't want to be caught unaware. You want to be the person who's doing the hunting and not being the hunted, because there is nothing spookier in this game and a lot of other games than realizing that you are a prey animal.
Yes.
And having been a prey animal in Frontier, being that person who is in, starting off, this happened to me on stream one time, a couple months ago. I was starting off, I was in like the little rookie ship, I'm in a belt, and I hit a rock, and I'm gathering my ore, and I look up at one point, and I don't get a notification, there's no flash, there's nothing, and there's no overview. I can't see, when somebody enters my space. I just kind of like, I spin my ship around, and I just noticed that there was somebody else in that belt with me who had not been there before. And there was this moment of like, I've been doing this I had been streaming for like 3 hours at that point, and I had like a pretty good little nest egg worked up. I didn't have anywhere to put it yet, and I definitely did not want to lose my ship. I just built it. I was like, you've got to be shitting me. Like,
right.
This guy. There's no way. And he was in like a battle cruiser or something. I was just in this little mining frigate. And I'm sitting here looking at him, and and there's no guarantee that he's noticed me either. Like depending on which angle he came in, I may have been occluded from him. He may just not have seen me. And if he's going about his own business, when I became unoccluded and I could see him and he could see me, he may have just not been paying attention. So there was this moment where I was like, I don't know what this dude's intentions are. Like, yes. You really get that feeling of like, do I run? Do I stay? Like, is it worth it? Is it worth committing?
Should I stay?
I've had that happen. Should I stay? Yeah. I've had that feeling in sites before too. Like when when you're running a site, and you've got rats there, and you don't know if there are more getting ready to warp in or not, or if you don't know there's somebody else watching you run the site.
Yes.
Like that is a feeling of kind of a dread that you cannot really do anything with, and that's why.
Is there a cloak?
I think that it is. No, there are no cloaks.
No invisible.
If there is, if at some point in the future we get cloaks, I have to imagine it'll be a super and this is one of the things I really like about fuel, like the fuel process.
Yes,
is that like fuel is just another lever that you can use to balance a game, right?
Right.
You can use fuel to.
Oh my god, that's so true.
Instead of just making a cloak kind of shit, right? Because it's just it only runs for a couple seconds or whatever. You can say, okay, you can use this cloak, but it costs a ton of fuel.
Right. The moment you said that, my first thought was, hey, you can use the cloak, but it uses 5x the fuel.
Or you can
such a big deal.
It heats your ship up.
Yes.
Like heat and the cloak both are two new levers that you can use to balance. Working
together. Man, I love that idea, dude. Because I love being in a T3 cruiser in Eve. Love it. But they're just so freaking good. And when I'm playing Eve Online, there's always this constant threat of, is there a cloaky boy just really, really close to me doing some stuff? And I gotta tell you, the fact that Frontier already has this lever, I like what you said, the lever you can pull, that's like, hey, if you wanna do this, You can, but hey, there's gonna be a risk reward to it already. I'm looking at my health. I was getting damaged by some rogue drones, and I had a less than full hull right now because we don't have shield or armor yet. And I'm sitting here going, well, do I have the fuel to heal myself up?
The fuel? Do I have the time? I mean, because it's not just a if you have fuel, just having the fuel is not enough.
Yes.
Right, because you have to let the fuel refill your capacitor as well. So is there enough time that I have to let that fuel that I have in my cargo refill my capacitor so I can get off that extra cycle of repair, or that extra cycle of my guns? And I can tell you, speaking personally, I'm a bad judge of that. I'm a really bad judge of that.
Yes.
I have died more times than I'm willing to admit, just because I misgauged a situation. And I am grateful that Frontier is the kind of game that rewards people who are willing to, or not even just willing to, capable of doing that kind of mental math. You know what I mean?
No, this is great.
So
I really like how the game feels like you have to make decisions, because in EVE, so something that was so interesting to me when I started streaming this game today was a lot of the people coming in, obviously one of our biggest fan bases is EVE Online. There was a lot of EVE-based questions. Like, how do I know where it is? Where's the UI element telling me the exact speed and distance and whatever the heck from them? And I press F2 and they're like, wait. And you can see it start clicking, where people are like, so you mean the tactical overview that I use as kind of a meme when I'm in a giant tie-dye, whatever the heck, is now a base part of the game? And then when I press F3 and I zoom out, the map is something to be explored, not something to be scanned down and Googled beforehand. Now, obviously there's gonna be Google guides, I'm not saying there won't yet. But this is, it feels like a game instead of like a sim. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, the thing, and this is where I kind of have to, I don't want to
don't spoil everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't want to get on a soapbox or anything, but one of the things I feel like that I wish was different about EVE Online, and I want to, again, I always have to preface this by saying, this is not me detracting. I play EVE Online religiously. I will continue to do so. I
played it today.
I simply have too much stuff.
Yes.
It would be, I'm not, and this is not a problem that can be fixed, right? It's not a problem of game design. It's not a problem of somebody not doing their job. It's nothing like that. It just what happens when you have a game that's been around for as long as EVE has, and is the kind of game that EVE is, which is it is a game that is known. It's a game that's understood. It is. I wouldn't even necessarily say solved, but it's solved. I mean,
I would call it solved. You don't have to. I can.
Any one thing that you want to do, there's a guide for it. If there's a rock that you find somewhere in space, by golly, somebody has fucking found that rock before and mapped out the dimensions of it.
Those YouTubers.
Everything
just
possibly find.
Ruined the game. How dare they put out those guides? And
and here's the thing about it though, is that I'm right there with them. I've done that too. I mean, the Wormhole guide, I helped maintain it for a while.
Yes.
And it's just a nice thing to have when you're but it does remove some of the mystery, right? In a game like EVE, which is much more about min-maxing and finding opportune systems or opportune solutions to complex systems, EVE is great about that, right? It does remove a little bit of the mystery. And while I don't enjoy EVE less now than I did back when I first started playing in 2006, I enjoy it more or less the exact same as I did back then. Well, but it's just different, right? It's a different kind of enjoyment, and I do miss some of that mystery. I miss some of the those kind of unknowing vibes. The beneath the asteroids moments, right? Where you're just out in the expanse, and the song kicks in, and you're just there with your mining laser and your little frigate, and it's the first thing you've ever seen, and you're just just grinding this rock down.
Right.
That is the thing that I miss that, and I enjoy that about Frontier, because Frontier is really, really hard to min-max. I mean, players have already started going in and trying to solve some of the systems in the game right now. But the truth is, it is a game. We are building it as a game that is not designed to be figured out. Right? There should be so much variability and so much, adapting to change, and so much, different nuance that it's not something you can just keep track of. And if it becomes something that is, it feels like it is getting solved, then something needs to change.
Time to fix it.
But if you start out with this idea in mind, of you want to make sure that the game cannot just be can reduce down to a wiki and call it good.
Sure.
Then I think that there are some things you can put into the game, some systems that you can introduce to help reduce a lot of that that pressure in the future, right?
Correct.
Of having to, of sitting there going like, man, I wish we had done this differently. And if so, then people wouldn't be able to, perfectly min-max every single one of our resource sites.
Totally. Well, this is
so.
I love these conversations because you guys are in chat are getting a high level view of what Frontier is going to be and what it currently is at the same time. I really hope that showing the gameplay. Type 1 in chat if you're enjoying this talk/gameplay thing going on. Type 1 if you're enjoying yourself. I know I am. Thank you, CCP Oden, for continuing to take the time. How much time you got today, dude?
Man.
I don't want to keep it too long.
I got another 25 minutes. We're going to our new brand director is in town right now. He's getting ready to move here. Or I think he's getting ready to move here. Either way, he's in town right now, and we're doing a team building event here in a little bit.
Ooh, have fun.
We're going to an escape room. I
was gonna say enjoy the drinks,
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
I think, I always want to preface, I'm not a game designer. I'm not, on our leadership team. I'm just a guy who, I'm very lucky to be in the position that I'm in now because I sit in a kind of very central role. Not central in importance, central in, configuration between a bunch of different teams, right? I have the ability to see and interact with so many different people working on so many different projects within the team that it is I do get maybe not a high level look about what's happening in the game at any given moment, but I get a kind of a comprehensive look because I get to talk to game designers, I get to talk to engineers, I get to talk to the full stack developers, I get to talk to the directors and only because the team has made themselves available to me because myself and the rest of the people on our community team and not just the community team either, but CSP Overload obviously was doing this. He walked so I could run. CSP Goodfella has done plenty of this. Obviously, CSP Helmar is always out talking about Frontier.
He's doing great
as he talks about all of our games. So the team makes itself available to us. Everybody out here who's trying to show people what we're doing, explain what we're trying to accomplish, and then get the feedback we get from people all at the same time. That would not be possible if it were not for basically everybody I work with.
Yes.
I'm very, very lucky to get to work with some of the most talented, interesting, energetic, and profoundly kind people I've ever had the pleasure of working with, and every one of them has been. I mean, the only reason any of this is possible is because we have a bunch of people who actually believe in what Frontier is trying to sell. Right? We're trying to sell a next generation survival experience in space, one that has direct player feedback in the game state, one that has a truly unique vibe and setting, and has all these customizability features and all these cool a full PvP single shard, blah blah blah, all the same kind of stuff that exists in EVE Online, but in a setting that is so profoundly different that it feels like a totally different game, because it is totally
so different. I love it. But
so
with the free thing, oh, go ahead, please tell me.
Yeah, go ahead, please. I got you. That's my TED talk.
I love the TED talks. It's the Jotun talks with the free stuff coming out this weekend. Talk to the people about how. I know you got to go soon. I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you for taking the time. Fine. With the free stuff coming out this weekend, how can people get involved? What can they expect with the free thing, with the free trial coming out this weekend? Go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously the free trial starts on Friday. It'll start at Friday, probably around, it'll be right after downtime. We are doing daily downtimes right now. We talked about this with our founders the other day. It's really, really funny. So one of the things obviously that's really important about, and I don't want to get too far off on a tangent, but one of the things that's really important about Frontier is that the geometry of things needs to be really good, right? Because occlusion matters, so you want the geometry of your objects in space to be tight, because if it's not, then occlusion feels really bad, maneuvering around things feels really bad, and in a game like this, it's really, really important. So sorry, I've got a crick in my neck.
I got you.
They introduced a couple new asteroid sites that have really, really cool, really, unique models. A lot of really cool new texturing. We have a new texturing engine that we're using to skin some of these things, so they look like actually look like cool space objects and not just big weird potatoes in space. All that is great. It consumed truly so much memory, like terabytes of memory, just to like keep the asteroids, those sites running, and it was absolutely eating stillness alive. So thankfully they've done some work to optimize some of that, but until we've kind of nailed it down, we're still doing daily downtime. So it'll probably be downtime on Friday is when it'll start. When we come back up, people will be able to go to I think it's efrontier.com/download. Let me double check that because I have it pulled up here.
I got it right here for you. I got the referral code in the old chat. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's efrontier.com/download. Just go download the client, and starting at 11 o'clock UTC, or just shortly after 11 o'clock UTC, God willing, there will be you'll be able to get in, create your character, and start playing. And if you like it, we hope you stick around. I think the game is cool, but obviously it's not gonna be for everybody. But give it a shot. Yeah, listen, here's the thing. If you don't like it, that's fine. I totally get it. I'm not your dad. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But if you're kind of on the fence, or you're not sure, or you've been hearing about it, or seeing so many ads, truly so many ads, I think our advertising team has gone wild,
killing it,
with power. I've seen so many cool. I was just saying cool. I'm a little biased here. So many cool Frontier ads, but there are a lot of them. If you've seen them with the ads, you've been like, I don't know, if this is something I'm interested in, or something that I'm not willing to commit the money to buy a founder pack yet. It's just free. It's free. You can do everything in the game. Literally everything in the game. There's no alpha restriction. Obviously, it's not anything like that. You are just you get in, you play. The only thing you're restricted by is time. So do whatever you want to do.
Do whatever you want to do. CSP Yoden.
Do whatever you want to do. That's the motto of the day.
It really is great to talk to you, to have you come out. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you guys are busy as heck. You're dropping new patches. You get the free thing this weekend. Yoden, when Frontier is doing more stuff, we gotta group up, dude. We gotta get like a.
We will group up.
Live to Frontier.
I've been a little hesitant so far about joining player groups.
Yes.
But you might sell me, Loru. You might sell me. You've got that charm.
I'm trying. I'm building multiple refineries. I'm getting the loop down. So.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for taking the time, brother.
Man,
Anything else you want to say?
No. I mean, hell, you guys. Listen. I have the best job in the world. I appreciate you being able to bring us on here. We can talk about. We'll do it again in the future, of course. And play Frontier, or don't. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want to do.
Do what you want to do.
Do come play Frontier. Do come play Frontier. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks so much, Yoden. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you later.
See you, Yoden. Y'all, great stuff having Yoden join us from the Good Old Fashioned Discord. Taking time out of their days. I hope you understand that CCP Games and indeed the Frontier team, we need some 07s for Yoden coming in, dropping the knowledge while I'm showing you the game. We're literally teching up while we're talking to the man. So Yoden, the stream isn't done yet, but Yoden, thank you so much for taking the time. We need some 07s to chat for CCP Yoden for the Frontier team. The devs play the game. The devs are here. They're showing up to answer y'all's questions. He was reading chat the whole time. Thank you so much to Yoden and to the Frontier team for taking the time. This will be on YouTube, so y'all can check it out as well. Thank you very much, Yoden. See you soon, brother. Thanks for taking the time. Sheesh.